Good morning, each and every one of you. Good morning. Welcome to Haiku Friday. What day is it today? Well, I do believe it's May 17th, 2024. Welcome to Haiku Friday. It is a blustery, windy, well, I guess that's redundant, but windy day here in Spokane. And, but kind of coolish. Things are cooled off a little bit. But, you know, it's a great day for haiku, a perfect haiku kind of day, I think. So let's kick it off with some from Max Q. And Max had visitors from a faraway land visiting him, and he got to show him all the wonderful sights of Southern California, it looks like, and they had a blast. But he's kind of how we all are. I think we have guests that come and stay for a while, and as soon as you kind of get used to it and you start having a good time, you think, why can't it always be like this? At least that's how I feel about it. All right, here is Max Q's. After the guests left, he found aloneness again, transition ahead. It is kind of weird. We get used to things, don't we? I think that's exactly true. Um, you have that little bit of time together, and this is the new normal, and it's a great new normal. Yeah, it takes a while. All right, second one from Max Q. Oh, the highway blues left him shaking in his shoes, road weary, shattered. And the last one from Max Q. Sycamores are green, branches bobbing in the wind, springtime interlude. I think springtime interlude is just about the perfect ending to a haiku. Five syllables that paint a beautiful picture. Thank you, Max Q. All quite lovely. And Max Q writes these from Claremont, 5/14/24. He signed on his message. Max Q sent along a couple from his friend Nikki, and I will read those now. Navigating life, reaching the daunting junctions, what brings happiness? Yeah, Nikki, that is the ultimate question, isn't it? I think when I was doing my master's degree in pastoral ministry, we're talking about a lot about attachment and addictions and things like that. And I think, we all do what makes us happy when we have the choice. If you're hauled away to jail or you're kidnapped, that's not making you happy. But if you have free will, and sometimes that free will would tell you that to do a responsible, hard, on the face of it, awful thing is what you have to do. Well, you're doing that because you're looking at happiness in the long term. So happiness, to decide if you have the choice to decide what's going to make you happy, that is very important question to ask, Nikki. Your last line there. All right, and then Nikki reminds us of what it was last weekend. It's a mother's love, an anchor within life's storms, our most cherished gift. Yes, really is. Really is. It's a great gift. It's a great gift being loved, is it not? Is it not? And that love between, I get to see my newest grandson, and the love between him and his parents, especially his mom, it is palpable, and it's a beautiful thing. I love that. And that's, people will say about parents sometimes, oh, I'm not their friend, I'm their parent. And I go, I get that, but you know what? All we ever have in our life is friends. That I would say parents get to um, model for their children what good friendship should look like. Holding people accountable, letting people know when been hurt by them, and apologizing for when you've hurt them. Having responsibilities to people, that's love, and that's friendship. And I think, um, more than parents not being friends for their children, I think they are the ultimate friends. And if you baby somebody and you do everything they want, that's not being a good friend either, is it? So when I say that parents should be friends to children, I'm talking about real friendship. And some of us don't have that in our lives either. I'm lucky to be married to my best friend. So I get that every day. All right. Thank you, Nikki. I'm feeling a little preachy this morning, aren't I? Well, get used to it. All right. Here we go. Here is one from Laurel. And when Laurel weighs in, I feel like, oh my goodness, really, really hits it out of the park. And this, of course, has to do, well, you'll know what it's about when I read it. Deep hues of midnight, palette of emerald and pink, spectral flares delight. Yeah, that was lovely. Wasn't that something last week? Or this, I guess, just a few days ago, right? What a treat it was to see those northern lights. My goodness. Thank you, Laurel. Here is one from Bill. And Bill is up in Alberta, and it's always kind of amazing when Bill and I email back and forth, the similarities between, everybody thinks that Canada is this refuge that we can run to when things get too crazy here in the United States, that we're going to be able to, especially those of us who live up north, it's just a short trip away when fascism takes full hold here. We'll be able to make it. Well, number one, I don't think we will be able to make it up there. Number 2, you know what? They have the same problems we do, maybe not as much, but it's hard to live next to a country like ours and not pick up some of the bad stuff from it, I think. And not that it's just our bad stuff, it's a universal bad thing everybody in every country has to face. I think we might have lower guardrails here. Um, it's always so now one of those things, of course, wildfires in Canada making the news already, and that smoke wafting to the south, going into the United States, going to where Bill lives. And so Bill writes, heat, drought, smoke return. Damn, another summer lost. Oh, for clear, cool days. Yeah, it is amazing how quick the wildfire season starts. I was 20 years working for the Spokane Fire Department, and I remember around June or July, maybe late, probably more like July, mid-July, we would say, "Oh, this wildfire season, it's starting," and we would start having brush fires that we would have to respond to, and it was funny. We had like these looked like prison suits that we would wear, like these yellow. I don't think they were Nomex or anything. They were just these yellow coveralls. And eventually, we got all the great gear, the good looking, cool wildland looking stuff, and you could wear a little kerchief around your neck. Very stylish. So yeah, but every year those became earlier and earlier and earlier. April, May, start going on brush fires. A lot of that's from transient camps down in Riverside State Park and other places. And that, of course, is a whole different issue. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. It was pleasant, very wonderful corresponding back to you this morning. And maybe we'll get to meet someday. Wouldn't that be fun? All right. Here we have one from my pal Rico San. Rico San is outstanding in his field, working. working the land. That's what Rico San and his beautiful wife, which I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to give away Rico San's secret identity, which is not that secret if you look back. But the two of them are amazing people. Sarah and I always talk about how amazing they are. And here's why I think they are cool, amazing people, because they are curious about things and they're intelligent about things and they are always learning new things. And they have created a lovely life for themselves over the decades in a beautiful place. So here is Rico Sans today. In the field today, the wind blew your voice away and my hat as well. Thanks, Rico-san. Thank you. Thank you. My friends, miss you guys. Hopefully see you soon. I know it's busy time for you right now, but my heart is always connected to you too. All right. Here is my haiku. This comes from my son Aiden asked me to help him build a fence yesterday. And if you're a parent, you know how happy it makes you to be included in anything of your kid's life. And to be asked to help build a fence was just like the highlight of my week, a week of many highlights, but it was the highlight. Uh, and so we're building this fence yesterday, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Oh, I love working with Aiden. I love working with all my kids. Aiden and I have a very similar creative spirit, I would say. He has been my collaborator even as a kid in high school on wacky art satirical projects that I have been involved in. And so to do something, to make something with him is wonderful. All right, so here we go. Cedar scent perfume stupefies our fence building. Plum level somewhat. That was my haiku. So, thank you for tuning in. Now, if you want to stay tuned in, I'm going to just talk about some highlights from next week and what's going on this weekend. Very exciting stuff. All right. So, we have the Northern Lights. Laurel captured that feeling so much. I have nothing to add to that other than wow. Hope you all had a fine Mother's Day, whatever did. Well, I fixed my lawnmower for my mom, amongst other things. I did other things for my mom, but I fixed her lawnmower that my great nephew uses to mow her lawn. So he was having to take over his mom, my sister's lawnmower, and I fixed my mom's lawnmower. Yay, it was electric. Oh, it was beat up, and I fixed it. Um, Birthdays, Sarah and I might have mentioned this because I think it's been over a week now. We had our birthdays last week, 64 years old, both of us, which is a wonderful place to be. I've never felt better in my life, retired for 4 years. Uh, yeah, it's wonderful. We had this week the Stage Left Gala, and that was so much fun. I mean, all my friends from the theater community were there, and people I have connected with. It was so weird. People that I knew from other parts of my life were there. The music, the singing, my God, it was just incredible. We had people. My friend Audrey put this together, and we had people who were in reprised roles they did in shows and sung songs. Oh my goodness. My goodness. You know, my favorite show, I think it was the year before last, was Sweeney Todd. This little tiny theater pulling off Sweeney Todd with the best performances. I'm just still astounded. And people, it's the thing about theater. You miss it, it's there, and you miss it, it's gone forever. Most of the time. So that is going on. That happened, and it was pretty cool. Um, we did well. We raised a lot of money. I kind of strengthened the bonds between KYRS and the theater, which I think are good bonds already. We have missions, I think, and so it was good to do that. So this weekend, on the radio, I had my friend Trevor on, who heads up, or he is one of the leaders of Brush on, or of Friends of the Bluff, which celebrates and protects Spokane's um, high drive bluff system, which is a series of trails, beautiful right now, still in the balsam root, arrowleaf balsam root last time I looked. And I have not been able to do this because I've been in various shows over the last few years, and I've been tied up doing things and not having the time, or gone on trips. But this year, I was able to do Brush on the Bluff, or I'm going to do it. It's actually tomorrow, where 36 painters this year, and different artists, not necessarily painters, there'll be chainsaw artists there, um, set up booths or spaces along the trail starting at Polly Judd Park on the west end of 14th, basically, Polly Judd Park. You can look that up on Google. Starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And we'll have all of our spaces set up. I'll have some information about how people there interested in my art can look at more if they want, things like that. So artists will be set up, they will be painting, creating, and you can take a lovely walk along the trails, talk to the artists. You can bid on the works if you'd like. My work is going to be split. The proceeds will be split four ways equally between the botanical alchemists who are organizing the event for Brush on the Bluff, Friends of the Bluff, and KYRS, and Stage Left Theater. So whatever my painting, and it's big, I'm looking at it. I've started on it because it's a monumental effort, 24 inches by 36 inches. So I've started on it yesterday, or a few days ago, and I'm done. I've got my head start good enough to show people I'm serious about what I'm doing here. And so I'll have that, and I'll put my setup together today to kind of dry run it, put everything together to see how it fits and how we're going to get it down to the site. But once you look at all the artists, there's also great events right in the park itself. There will be like an informational fair with the usual booths, and there will be food from Feast World Kitchen, which is a cool place, and lots of fun stuff for kids to do too. Lots of art projects and things like that. So I will show you, and I might have showed you this week. This is going to be what I hang up in the. Yeah, I'll have like a little information about what I'm painting. That was the. See, that was the original picture of it right there, and this is what I'm actually painting. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to do this. Um, this is the actual painting itself of uh, of what I've done as a study for the painting. It's a study. So it's not, it's not completely done. It's just to help show me where I need to put things on the bigger canvas. So I'll have that in front of me as a guide. If you'd like to see that, like to see, the only bummer about doing these things, so much like being in a play you'd like to see, as I'll be tied up, I won't be able to go look at other artists. Although maybe I'll let Sarah sit, if she's going to be so kind to hang out with me tomorrow. I'll have her sit with that, and then look at, maybe I'll get a chance to go look, and she can babysit my artwork while I take a quick jog around the trails. Um, as You Like It, a play. I wasn't going to do any plays this summer because things are busy. And, and I think I talked about this last week. My hearing loss is getting to the point where it is hard for me to, I can do lines with people on stage, but like direction from backstage, or if we want to share a laugh about something backstage or anything like that, I can't make it out because my hearing's gotten so bad. Although this will be outdoor theater. So I got asked if I would be interested in a small role requiring very little rehearsal, and it's a funny role. I read it about it in As You Like It, and I said, okay, I'll do that. So this summer I'll be doing some outdoor Shakespeare through the Spokane Shakespeare Society, and I will give you more information about that as it goes on. Last year they did the best production of Hamlet I think I've ever seen. You know, uh, so yeah, it was fantastic. Let's see. So what else? I've been making chocolates. I've been making, chocolates and I've made, food grade molds, to kind of support my, my sacred Sasquatch shrines that I plan on doing. Chocolate, kind of, a food for people to eat if they'd like there, so I'm making those, and I'm making a it's it's the best chocolate I've ever had. It is nothing but cocoa beans, organic cocoa beans, cane sugar, not a lot of cane sugar, and a tiny bit of cocoa butter, organic cocoa butter, only about 5% that, 25% sugar, 70% cocoa beans. Amazing. I've been roasting my coffee again, as usual. I've been doing roasted my coffee on and off for probably like the last 10 years. Now I've been full time doing it, but I'm looking for a better way to get that dialed in. Running, not running as much since Bloomsday is over. We did Bloomsday, did the trail run. Now it's kind of my get fat time. But although I'll still be running a little bit and walking. Garden has been planted except the basil. I have that still growing under lights downstairs. And the last thing I'll leave you with is that I'm very excited about my son Isaac from Portland is coming to visit us for a few days here. And hopefully he can get down to see my art thing. Maybe not. I'm not my kids, I don't try to subject them to my art stuff. Sometimes they do show up and I'm always appreciate it, but it's like, everybody's got their own lives, but, uh, hopefully we're gonna have good times together. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Haiku Friday. I think this one a little bit long this time, but, I appreciate you. And if you have haikus, please send them to me. Haiku's pretty simple, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables, about as easy as it gets. Just send them to me and I'll read them. I'll read them. And there is no bad haiku. Send it to me, please. Haikufriday.com. That's how you find all the information. Right. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay creative. That's how you fight the dark forces by creation and being and don't let the a-holes don't feed the a-holes, I guess. So be creative. Be hopeful, make stuff happen, be kind. I love you. Bye.